Well, hello. Welcome to another episode of the TV Teddy podcast. I'm Ted Valentine, 43-year veteran, officiated 10 Final Fours. Inside of those 10 Final Fours have been 4 national championships. We have nephew Dwayne Jackson. He spent the weekend over Indianapolis, which is my favorite venue. I've been fortunate to officiate 4 Final Fours at that venue, and that's by far my favorite. Dwayne, tell everybody, how did it go this past weekend?
TV, thank you again for inviting me on today. And man, I tell you, Indianapolis did a really good job with the Final Four this year. And you know, obviously Indianapolis is a very special place to you. I didn't have a lot of time to spend in Indianapolis before this weekend, but I really got a chance to explore it and tour it. And I really like the city of Indianapolis. So I had a really good time, met a lot of people that I haven't seen in a long time. And TB, I tell you, Lucas Oil Stadium, man, that place is amazing. And I was able to stay right next door to it and able to walk over to the convention center and go to all the festivities. And it was a really great time to be a part of the Final Four this weekend.
Yes, it's definitely being in the city of Indianapolis. It was like a home to me. All the years I worked in the Big Ten, 34 years in the Final Four. It's set up like a European city, and you can walk within blocks of everything. So you have everything there. You don't have to go outside the city until it's time for you to leave or time for you to catch on a flight. That is one of my favorite venues, and I'm glad that you had a chance to go. And you got a chance to hobnob. You got a chance to rub shoulders with some people. And I'm kind of jealous.
TV, let me just tell you now. So we had a chance to go to the Illinois State and Auburn game. And me and some other coaches walking in, and we see Coach Pearl. And the first thing he says is, "Where's Teddy?" And I was like, "Oh, he stayed at home." So every coach that I saw, everybody that I saw that knew that I was connected to you and helping you with this podcast, they all asked me, "Where's Teddy?" And they really were looking for you. I think you would have been well received to be back in Indianapolis one more time. And TV, that just goes to show you what you've done in your career for coaches and fans and people connected to the college basketball world, how they really want to be around you and they really want to see you in the important days of what we call the March Madness. So you're a March Madness guy, and all of the coaches are really seeking and hoping to see you very soon. Even at their games, practice, or wherever, in whatever capacity, they really can't wait to see you.
Well, hey, I love Indianapolis, but I have to share a story with you about Indianapolis.
All right.
I was there working the 2010 Duke Butler. Or wait a minute, let me back up. 97. See, working all these games, it caused a lot of confusion. 97 had I had Arizona and Kentucky. And Tubby Smith was assistant coach at Kentucky, and the late Lou Henson, or should I say, not Lou Henson, who was the coach that was there at Arizona at the time. But anyway, that's how I met Josh Pashner.
Okay.
We had a little joke thing that going on that afternoon.
You're talking about Coach Lute Olson.
Coach Lute Olson, thank you very much. See, after you get a certain age, and I just had a birthday pass, all this stuff flies through your mind. You know, at least my mind is still active. But we went across the street to Steak and Shake from the hotel, and there was Jim Boeheim there. It was myself, Tommy O'Neill, and his 2 boys, and Tommy's dad was there. And Coach Boeheim was courting his wife now, Julie. And we're sitting over a table from him, and so I start teasing, and I'm waving at Boeheim, and next thing I asked the people at the table, I says, "Do you want to get a free meal?" And they said, "Yeah." So I grabbed up all the receipts and I walked over to where Coach Boeheim is sitting. And I started talking to his fiance at the time, Miss Julie. And I said, "Oh, you're Miss Julie. You're the one that everybody's talking about being with Coach Boeheim."
Right.
And Coach Boeheim's rolling his eyes. And I said, "Coach Boeheim, you outkicked your coverage this time." Okay. So I said, "Coach Boeheim, I need a favor from you. So I laid all his receipts down in front of him while he's eating his Steak and Shake. Okay. And he looked at all his receipts from the table.
So while he's eating, you give him
Yeah. And it was about over $100.
Okay.
And Boeheim looked at me, and Julie says, "He's such a nice guy. Jimmy, why don't you pick that up for him?" Okay. Okay. So Boeheim says, "Shit, I got to pick this up because because he'll F up one of my games, So that was a fond memory there with sticking Coach behind with the check. So Indianapolis is very, very, it's in my soul, definitely.
Well, TV, let me tell you, they did a really good job with it this year. And speaking of Coach Bayham, I had a chance to see him and saw Coach PJ Carlissimo. I saw a lot of coaches that I didn't realize that were going to be there. But man, I'm gonna tell you, every meeting we went to, the Coach's Edge, the Nation of Coaches, they really like what we're doing, and they really like the fact that they want to help us and they want to work with us. So everybody is open and everybody's embracing the TV Teddy podcast. So TV, I wanted to kind of bring up something today that you may not have thought I was going to do, but I want to go down memory lane a little bit with you. And we talked about the dog days of February. We talked about March Madness. We talked about, Sweet 16 and officiating in the tournament games, getting ready for the tournament games. But we never really talked about young Teddy as an official. And we kind of wanted to give our listeners and our fans idea of what it was for you to be in those, what we call those hot games as a youngster. And one game come to mind, TV, I think it's North Carolina and Arkansas. And you had to go over to Reunion Arena in Dallas, Texas. And you were, I don't know what your age were at the time, but that was in 1990. And I got something that I want to share with you and the fan. If you don't mind, we share that.
So I was 30 years old. I was a kid, 30 years old at the time.
So you say you were 30 years old in 1990? 30
years old, yeah.
30 years old.
Yeah. Yep.
And yesterday you turned 46.
Well, yesterday I turned 60.
I tell you, TV, you don't look a day over 50. And that's just another testament of what it takes to be on this elite level that you've encountered for so many years.
Right.
It takes a lot of discipline. It takes a lot of determination to be at your level. And I want to share something. So I'm going to share my screen here, TV, if you don't mind. I'm going to go here. I'm going to share it here, and we're going to pick this up. And I hope our viewers can see this. TV, can you see this right here?
Oh, yes. Oh my God. Right. That looks old looking.
So do this look familiar to you, TV?
Oh, yeah, it definitely does.
Okay. So Richard Ballesteros and Don Rutledge and Ted Valentine. So before we play this, man, these are some names. So kind of walk us through this officiating crew for tonight's game back in 1990 in the Midwest Regional against Arkansas and North Carolina.
Well, I can remember my uncle and a few of my cousins had made the trip. This was my first Sweet 16, and I was with two veterans, Don Rutledge, who I've officiated with for a few years, was the veteran, and Richie Ballesteros. I never got a chance to referee with him until this night, and we were in the locker room.
Okay.
And we were getting ready for the game, and I'm just a young kid, the emotions were all over the place. This is my first Sweet 16. And all of a sudden, Richie Ballesteros started putting a bath towel around his neck, a white towel. And he put a clothespin it, and he started chanting. And I never knew what the hell's a chant, and I kept moving back because I thought the room was going to start moving because I grew up as a Baptist, and when you grew up in a Baptist church, you're used to having the fans, and you're just going hallelujah, and you used to fall into your knees, and somebody would come over and shake you and revive you and get you up and cover you up, and you feeling the Holy Ghost. Well, I got news for you. I wasn't feeling the Holy Ghost.
What were you feeling? What were you feeling, TV?
Oh, I was just rolling my eyes. My eyes was big, and I rolled my eyes back, and I'm going, "Oh my God, what's going on in here? Is this like?" Is this some evil spirit in here? Because I've never heard anybody chant. I've never heard anybody chant. Because when you're from the state of West Virginia, you got two things in common. If you are a person of color, you have Baptist. You are a Baptist, and you're going to church every Sunday, and you didn't hear no chanting. I mean, it was just different. It was just the first time that I really was outside my element, and it kind of shook me inside. My whole inside just shook.
So TV, let me make sure I get this right. And we want to make sure our listeners are understanding this. This is before the game. This is happening before the game.
Absolutely. It was before the game, before we even went out. I was just stunned. I was stunned. I was stunned.
You're a 30-year-old Teddy Valentine, first Sweet 16, and you had to go through that and try to build your nerves back up to go out and perform.
Oh yeah, I mean, it kind of shook me. It made me. I was nervous in the first place, but it really rocked my soul. It really rocked my core, and it did. And I was just, the whole time I was standing on the floor for the game, all I could think about was this chanting going on. It was like, and you're talking about an athlete playing mind games with you, but this started playing some mind games inside me,
Man, oh man. So before we get into this, TV, I know it's been a long time ago, and man, when we talk about North Carolina and Arkansas, there's some players that I want to kind of mention before we get to rolling this tape. I think Rick Fox was on this team. King Rice, George Lynch was on the North Carolina team. Then we had Todd Day, Mayberry, all of those guys. Oliver Miller, they was on the Arkansas team. So I'm sure as we will play this, and I'm sure some of the plays that will come out, it will bring some things back to your remembrance on this first week 16 for you. So I'm gonna start playing this so that we could kind of get rolling into it. And TV, you can tell me to stop at any time. And let me get the volume here.
Okay.
All right, so TV, let me.
Okay, we get the jump ball up.
Who was the guy that just threw the ball up?
Hey, that was Richie Ballesteros. I was the U2. And of course, the U2 is always on the backside of the referee, and the U1 is always at table side. He's chopping in time. So anytime you see the referee got his back turned and the referee is behind him, he is in the position called the U2.
All right, so I'm gonna quieten this down a little bit, and I'm gonna pause it. Pause it right here. That looks like 30-year-old Teddy right there. Am I right?
Yep, that's me.
Okay, so we're playing it. Now, I want you to share something with us, TV. Now, as I see you officiate games later on in your career, I saw this a little different. Like, you got an angle there. You look like your legs are not parallel. And I don't know if that was something that you were doing at that time, but I think now, when I see you officiate games within the last 10 years, I would see you be a little bit here, feet changed a little bit more. So can you kind of share with us how you made a change from your footwork between that time and to now?
Well, you know how a horse gives birth. I was like a colt, and it was like you can see my legs are very narrow. I was officiating by the manual at the time, being at the center line position. As I got older, I started refereeing a higher C because I could see more. And I could only had to turn my body to the left or so, and I could be looking down the paint as much. So this has changed over the years.
Okay, so I'm going to play this again so that we can get some more angle here. Ball coming to your side. Now, let's freeze this. The ball is on your side. What should an official do at this point? So you got the ball on your side. You're right there on the play. What is your next move here? And I know you was a young Teddy at the time, but what can you tell our officials now that they must get ready to do at this position of the play?
Well, I can see there that I'm probably too close, and I probably taken one or two steps to my right.
Okay, so in other words, TV, so you needed to be about right here?
I need to be right there, and because I know where the other two players are, and if I'm up, I can probably get those 3 or 4 players in my visual range, but you can tell that my head is just locked in on 2 players.
Okay, so TV, that's a good point you just made. So let me make sure I understand this. So when when you're officiating these games, you're trying to see this player, this player, this player, this player, this player at the same time. Am I right?
What I really want to see is the player in white that is above the 3-point arc. He's coming into the play. Okay.
This guy.
Yes. And I probably could have been a little higher then, because in that way,
Right
if he
here.
runs into my vision, I can probably pick him up instead of here he comes running, and I'm basically standing too close to him, really. I mean, because I'm staying too close to the trees because of the forest is probably too tall for me.
I understand. So I'm gonna continue with this. All right, now let's freeze it. This guy came in, he's trying to do it like a little trap.
Right.
So now the offensive player is still here. He's got the ball. Are you still too close, TV?
I'd say I'm too close.
Okay. All right. Okay, so we'll play this. And TV, before I move along, share again why you don't need to be that close so that our officials that get ready to go to camp so that they can understand what position they really need to be.
Well, where I'm standing, if the defense would happen to deflect the ball and they say the ball went out of bounds, I'd be standing too close, and I basically couldn't tell who the ball came off of unless it's just obvious. You know, with them closing down, there are so many legs involved, and I always got to look at it like one play further, because that's how I was taught later on. If I'd have been back, then if it had been a deflection off a player's leg, then I could probably make the correct call.
Absolutely. All right. TV, I really appreciate you clarifying that. Let me move along here. All right. So the ball is back now. So now you never moved.
Well, probably what I should have done, I should have angled my left shoulder, and I should have opened up my left shoulder and went to a little bit to the top side, and then I could be able to see these two players right in front of me. But right now, what I'm looking at is the back of a player's number that's on my side. Okay. And that would be the two low blocks men right there.
Right. Okay. So the ball they made a shot going up the court. Let's pause this. Let me get the score off there to get it off the screen. Now, right here, this position. So now you're here and the ball is here. So walk us through this real quick, TV, as a young Ted Valentine.
Now, if I got anything, I'm in the right position here because I'm looking back through, and there's not any threat to my right. So I'm basically looking back through, which would probably, if I would have gone even with the foul line, I would have been probably in a stack, or if I would have gone to my left, I'd have seen the guard two number. So I'm in pretty good position there. I don't like how my leg is looking, because it's like I'm leaning on my front foot. Okay. Okay.
Hey, TV, I was about to ask you. I was about to say, man, it look like you're trying to go ski.
Yeah.
With that ski.
Yeah. I'm leaning on my front foot, and I should be more erect and more straight up. Okay.
But once again, yeah. Right. Go ahead. Yeah. But what I was gonna say, once again, this is young TV Teddy.
Right.
This is young 30-year-old Ted Valentine, first week 16, and we're just only showing this so that everybody can see how far you came. And we're gonna, and when we get into the next episodes, we're gonna gradually show more games over the course of your career to see how your improvement got with your footwork. So I'm just gonna continue to play this. Ball is in the corner. Are you in the right position?
Well, I'm in the right position now because I shouldn't rotate out, which I'm probably too low.
Okay.
I shouldn't rotate out until the lead has come across, which you don't see the lead in the picture. So I should start moving back now. And the trail official that was on the trail side, he should start moving down. Okay. But the lead is going back and forth. He's going back and forth like a yo-yo. And that's what we did back then. Okay. It was before we even knew what a 3-person crew was. Because the lead, you don't see in the picture, and I'm staying with my competitive matchup, which is in front of me.
Correct, because you're on the ball.
Right.
Okay. All right.
You see the lead going back and forth?
That's right. I saw that. Okay, now, so let's pause this. This guy is the lead, am I right?
That guy is a trail. The official that's under the bucket is the lead. And I'm in the center position, which I call the slot that I learned how to referee from the NBA. I call it the slot position.
Okay, slot position. All right. So we're going to show just a few more of these. So now getting the ball in bounds. Hold on. Let's see that. Did you see that face? You see that face, TV? TV, did you see that face?
No, I wouldn't pay attention to the face.
Let's see. I want to show you. I want to show all the viewers. A face real quick. Hold on just a second. We're going to go through this play. The ball goes out of bounds. Let's see. He's going to check it out. We're going to bring the camera close.
Let me tell you about that play. I
Yes, sir.
basically did not see who the ball came off of.
That's what I was about to ask you.
Okay.
And the reason why I said let's see this face right there, you wasn't sure.
Well, the players was telling me who it came off of.
Okay.
Watch where they go. They go to the out of bounds spot.
They sure did.
So I just said, what the hell? Give it to them the ball.
All right.
See what?
Let's see here. So we're going to play this one. So you're counting there.
Right. It was backcourt, 10-second count. See, you can see I'm too fast. I'm, like closely guarded, 5 feet. Hey, man, if I had any lift, drag, or thrust, I could be flying like an airplane. It didn't make no sense to closely guard and signal. Because, it was like I had an accordion in my hand. It was bad. I've learned a lot over the years.
What TV? Let me just tell you, I wanna show this again because now,
right
at this point, the white jersey is looking at you,
right,
and at this point you're unsure.
I don't have a damn clue who the ball went off of,
and you just listening to the players.
Well, I just watched. I saw one person dive. You can't tell did white hit it, did blue hit it. So I waited. I was always taught, like, hey, when you see somebody going to the out of bounds spot, give them the ball. Get the ball back in play.
So TV, we're gonna go to another spot of the game, and I'm just gonna kind of move it along here so that you can kind of talk about some other plays. And you're right there. Are you
Which
too low
I'm not
here?
hustling. I'm not hustling. By now,
okay,
I should be at the hash mark across the court because I'm in the trail and I was lollygagging, and I should have been at the front 28 marker. See, now I'm coming into the picture.
Okay, and you're walking,
which I should have hustled and should have moved to that position quickly.
Okay, so now let's go here.
See, too fast. Look, I'm on the other side of the court that quick. But that's how we rotated back in the day.
I understand. Now, you going back and forth. That's the yo-yo you're talking about, right?
Yes. And you see where I am as the lead official, which is under the basket. I'm staying too close to the end line, which I should get close. I should get deeper. And also, I have the backboard, which is right over me, and you can't referee anything from there.
Are you in the right position here, TV?
I'm in the right position now.
Okay. All right, so you're in the right position now.
Still in the right position. I'm still in the proper position.
Okay. You're counting.
Okay. See, look at it. Okay, too fast. Everything's too fast. Because we had the rule, if you're dribbling and holding.
Mm-hmm.
There's
you remember
Scott
that
Williams.
Face, don't you?
Yep, Scott
That's
Williams.
Right.
See, Teddy Valentine was a deer. Back in them days, he could run.
Yeah, I see that.
Look. See, back in the day,
are you in the right position
just be moving.
Here?
Now I move with a purpose.
So right here, what can you tell our young officials that's getting ready to go to camp, just based on these plays in the first half back in 1990? What can you tell our officials that's going to look at this? Some of the things they should not do. In the camps that's coming up.
I'm going to say that this is a guide for you because when you're young, you're all over the place.
Right.
If somebody asks you why you were moving, you can't tell anybody why you're moving. And that's how I was brought up. Now I move when I need to move. And that makes a difference when I need to.
That's right. But TV, man, I tell you what, let's pause here. That face right there. Tell us about
Nolan
that.
Richardson.
Tell us about how it was in this game. And as you can see here at the 11:22 mark, this game is very, very close. North Carolina 17, Arkansas 19. Well, you got Dean Smith on one side, and you got Nolan Richardson on another. How was that? How was that game for you to know that you had two iconic coaches in the college basketball realm at that time? They were the hottest coaches at the time. And how did that make you feel as a young official? You got that type of coaching power on the court with you.
Well, I would say that was the first time I had Nolan Richardson. That was the first time. Coach Smith, I had him a couple times. So I was very familiar with Coach Smith. Nolan Richardson, I didn't have him that much. And later on, when I got in the SEC, now I ended up working a lot of games with him, the 94 championship and the 95 championship. And I was very familiar with him. And you can see right there, there's a technical foul called on Coach Smith. And the reason why.
TV, that's right. It looked like they went to a commercial break.
Right.
And it was a media timeout. I guess it was a media or just a regular TV timeout. At that time,
it was a regular media, and I ended up in front of his bench, and he didn't like the way the game was going. And he came out the huddle to say something to me, and I turned my back. For those you Carolina fans, I've been turning my back all my life on people. And I turned my back on him because I had great respect for him, and I got away from him, and I went on the other side of the lane line, almost to the other side of the court, and I turned my back. And Dean Smith walked out, nice and gentle, tapped me on the shoulder, and I turned around and looked, and I went, basically, my mind was going, well, what you doing out here? And I called a technical foul on him, and he turned to me and said, thank you very much, Mr. Valentine, and walked on back to his bench. So I basically knew that he wanted the technical foul.
But in a respectful way.
In a very respectful way, okay? This is why he got the technical foul, was on that out-of-bounds play.
Okay.
Because he
TV,
felt
I tell you, man, listen, for you to have this type of hot game on your shoulders at a young age, TV, games like this is what you can go back and look at, and you can come back and say, man, look how far I've came. Or does it do anything for you when you get in your quiet place in your office at your house or wherever you're at? When you get in your quiet place, do these games come back in your mind?
Well, I hadn't seen this for a long time, and you can tell I'm jumping all around, and like I'm ready to jump double dutch with my sisters on the rope, and you can see me moving fast. You see me counting real fast. You see me moving real fast. You see me doing a closely guarded signal fast. As I've gotten older, I learned to slow all those movements down.
Right. So I'm going to ask you one more time. I'm going to find a play here. So you're getting down the court. Now, are you in the right position there?
I'm in the right position, except one thing, I'm leaning. I'm sort of leaning.
What are you looking for?
That doesn't look good as far as posture-wise.
Right. And I was going to ask you, what was the lean for?
I don't know. Hey, I might have been watching the next comedian or something like that on TV. Here come your next comedian. And lean, I was doing that Detroit lean, leaning on to the side, whatever.
Right. Okay. All right. We're going to get one more here for you, TV, and then we're going to, all right, so you going down there. Are you in the right position here?
Yes, because the ball is on the other side of the floor. That's fine.
Good. Okay, perfect. And that's Ballesteros calling it out.
That's Ballesteros there. And for you officials, when you raise your hand, you always point off the same arm. If I raise my right hand, I need to point off my right arm. If I raise my left hand, I need to point off my left arm.
So you raise both. You raise both hands.
Well, no. What he did is like a traffic cop. When you raise your hand, raise your right hand, and you're showing direction, you're supposed to show direction with the same hand I just raised.
Okay. So that's the proper way to do it.
Right.
All right, so T, we got the ball to your side. Why did you jump to the corner?
Hey, man, you asked me. I don't know why. I just jumped here because I can get a better angle. I thought my two sisters was there, and we were doing the double dutch. We're doing hey, I'm jumping in. I'm going to make sure that rope don't hit me.
The ball is up here, TV.
And I'm way too low.
And you over in the corner.
Hey, that's called nervous energy, okay? Hey, it's like being in an airplane and then trying to tell you, hey, we're getting ready to jump out of the plane, and you decide to jump out too soon. So I decided to jump out soon.
TV, really wanted to just bring this to your memory again, and I'm sure you can remember some of these plays. I know you remember some of the players, and I know you won't forget those two coaches, and I know they meant a lot to you in your career. But I wanted to kind of show this, like right here, how you getting up the floor and how you on the play, but at the same time, this is your first Sweet 16. And I wanted all of our viewers and our fans to see even you made mistakes. Even you made mistakes in hot games that meant a lot. And this time, we're talking about two big teams, North Carolina and Arkansas. Right. And you're in the middle of it as a young official. So I wanted to share that with our viewers And TV, I really appreciate you walking through some of these plays in the first half of this game. And I never knew that Coach Smith got a technical foul in that game because he didn't get many. He didn't get many technical fouls.
Right.
But thank you again for sharing with us and showing the young officials what it takes to be in these type of games and to be able to get into the heat of these games.
Right.
So, but TV, that's very nice of you to do that. And we're gonna share some more older games, some more games that you had with our fans and our viewers. And once again, we're gonna start talking about how the officials should be ready for the camps that's coming up this summer. And I'm sure you're gonna be on the trail, and I'm sure you'll be around the Southeast region and in the Northeast. And I know you're going to get your travel set up for the summer. And I know people may see you. And one thing I do know, TV, these young officials, they want to see you and they want to hear from you. Right. So once again, TV, I really appreciate that you going through that with us, and didn't want to make you feel old, but boy, I had to bring that Sweet 16 back to you, the very first one. So I really appreciate that.
Right. Well, you've heard it from us. This is a TV Teddy podcast. You can catch us on Instagram. You can catch us on Facebook. You can catch us on TikTok. If you have any emails you want to send it to contact@tvteddy.com. And we'll see you again later down the road. And subscribe to the YouTube channel of the TV Teddy podcast. That will be all, folks. Have a good evening.
Take care.